Audio. Let's try this now. Okay. So I should. Audio. Let's try this now. All right. So I should have audio now, and that was the struggle the last time I did an entire hour and a half live recording, and yeah, it was on mute. It was definitely on mute. So I am here. Let's see if the chat is working. Let's get that going. Y'all, eventually I will have this down to a seamless kind of thing. All right, yes. So the chat is working. And welcome. So it is Sunday, 4:44 p.m. This is the time that I will I plan to go live. If you guys will just give me a moment and let me post something on my community wall. Um, because I'm not connected to what is scheduled for everyone, and that may be a problem. So give me 1 second, and I will be right back, and we'll get into this live. Okay, let's get into it. So I took care of that that notification, and we are gonna get into the slide. So first, how is everybody this Sunday? I appreciate you joining me. Anybody that is here, I appreciate you joining me. I also appreciate the patience with this channel as I kind of get through all of these processes and really iron down this channel. So first things first, I want to make the announcement that Bama Girl 2.0 is open and ready for subscribers. I will pin that link in the channel today. I will pin it in the comments in the description chapters of this live that we're doing today, so everyone can have that link. Uh, this channel, that particular channel, is where I will get into a lot of community issues, just a lot of things that I want to talk about that may um, confuse the direction of Break Bread with Duchess 2.0 TV. So we started with TV and kind of reviewing, and as I've gotten into it, I think that I like the direction of pulling out some of the characters and some of the personality kind of stuff that goes on, some of the representations, learning pieces, and kind of pulling those out and going deeper into a discussion. And I am tricking, hopefully, the algorithm because it does kind of pay attention to your subjects and your titles, and it can trip things up, which I will be doing a kind of recap of June because I have also committed to just let's say journaling the growth of this channel and how things kind of work out. So to get around that, when I do these lives, I will be subject using the subject title of the TV shows that we watch and that I'm reviewing, and kind of breaking things down. So The first thing, let me see, did I cover everything with that? Yeah, okay, back to Bama Girl 2.0. So Bama Girl 2.0 will allow us to delve a little deeper into some subject matters and really dig into the conversations, really dig into our spiritual growth and just community issues in general. So we will brace the subject of one of those today. As we get into this discussion today, we will brace the subject of that and just look at it as kind of like a prelude to what I'll be doing on this separate channel, which hopefully will be easier um, to follow and to manage. It won't be so all over the place because this really is my flagship channel, and I'm liking it so far. It's shaping the direction. I'm getting some great feedback. I'm getting some very good spiritual guidance um, on the direction and how things are flowing and how to shape it. And that's the space that I like to be in because I know that that is when it comes from that space, I know that that is what's needed. So, as different ideas and things come into mind as I'm kind of shaping this channel, I will implement them and see how they work out. So, first things first, we are going to go ahead and kick things off with Love and Marriage Huntsville. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about Love and Marriage Huntsville. And the two people that I wanted, well, actually three, we'll go over Stormy Steele, um, and Sonny and Moses. And this is really stemming from last week's episode, not the one that just aired last night. Sonny and Moses, a little bit of what aired last night. So I wanted to talk about Stormy Steele. And I wanted to talk about her because I felt like she gave us a great example of how daughters um, are neglected by their moms and some of the dynamics that can go on between mother and daughter. As I was watching the scene of her and her mom, and they were sitting down talking, and Stormy was telling her how she felt about, and I'm just going to straight out call it her abandonment, right? Stormy had to turn herself into jail for what she has going on with another content creator. And so she learned she had to turn herself in. She wanted to, she wanted her mom to be there, and her mom willfully neglected to show up. She willfully kind of declined. And it when Stormy first gave her the call, it sounds like it was late at night. She also cares for an elderly parent. And so it wasn't great timing, but she could have come to the next morning, but she didn't come in an effort to kind of punish her. Like, you got yourself into this situation. I did not like that you are mingling with certain characters, and I hate to call them characters because they're actually people, but I want to make sure that these discussions are really, really focusing on the issues, not so much as the people that are in place, right? And so I don't want no smoke about a particular star because I am a supporter of hers as well. But Betty still had a problem with Melody Cherie Rogers, who is a lead on the show. They've never really clicked, and she didn't like Stormy hanging with her. And so she's holding that relationship accountable for the reason why Stormy is in this situation. And I won't get into my thoughts on the particular situation because just on the surface, what I can see, Stormy um, did do the things that she is accused of doing, right? So those items that are against the law, they did do them. She did do them, right? But all of the parameters around that and all of the emotions and all of the feelings around it and who was right and who was wrong as the catalyst and all of that, I'm just going to stay away from that because the law looks at kind of facts from my understanding. So I'm just going to leave that outside of it. But what I found interesting was when she was talking to her mom and she was expressing to her how she felt. Um, and this isn't the first time that she's felt abandoned, like you did not show up for me. And her mother was defensive and also very um kind of brazen in her attitude. Like she really felt like that was what Stormy deserved. She wasn't even trying to hear how her actions impacted her daughter. And it was kind of hard for me to it was hard for me to watch. It really was hard for me to watch because I thought about so many daughters, or just children in general, even in children life or adult life, teen life, all of that, where parents are bringing their traumas to the relationships, just as anyone else can bring a trauma to the relationship. Parents also bring their traumas to the relationship, and how that practice kind of prevents them from being empathetic to how their actions, intentional or unintentional, are impacting their children. And I think that those dynamics is why we see so many unpleasant actions and decisions showing up in the community, right? Because the mother is like, I know the father or the man is the head of the household and that sort of a thing, but from my viewpoint, the mother is who is shaping and raising that adult. Like we have the biggest responsibility to shaping and raising an adult because our actions impact how that person will respond emotionally and how they learn to respond emotionally and how they attach and disattach from different relationships. It's a very important role that we have. So, as mothers and as women of the community. And so that was just kind of hard for me to watch. I wanted to talk about Stormy because I could tell that she was hurt, but it did not stop her from trying to have a healthy conversation with her mom. Like she didn't raise her voice. She didn't become combative. She just kind of, even when her mother steered the conversation and took sort of like a dig at her, like this is the first time that you went to jail. And I cringed when she said that because you're saying this on live TV, knowing the audience, knowing how this girl can get dragged by the audience, right? Like you are aware of that. And she put that out there. It just seemed intentionally hurtful, and it left me wondering if her mom is really, really in her corner. Like, is she like really in her corner? Does she celebrate her? Um, is she part of her cheerleading squad? But I just wanted to highlight Stormy because I think that she handled it well. And she handled it so well, she was able to get what she needs. Because her mom prides herself on not apologizing for her actions. That is toxic in itself. And somewhere in her life, she's been celebrated for that, or she wouldn't be so brazen to kind of put that out there. But she doesn't apologize for her actions, which means she doesn't take accountability for how her actions can impact someone. Um, and so that I know that wasn't an easy conversation, but Stormy stayed the course. She redirected the conversation, and she was able to get her mom to see how she felt. Now, whether she really, really meant what she said or she just kind of was cornered, because what Stormy was not doing was giving her a reason to play the blame game. She stayed completely neutral, completely in control of her emotions. She was matter of fact, and she was able to get an apology from her mom. And Stormy was able to get some understanding. Hey, Jay. I'm here with audio, girl. I am here with audio this time. Thank you so much for coming in. So, and Stormy was able to, she was able to get that apology, and she was also able to get some learning lessons from her mom. Like she was able to get the reason why her mom kind of withheld her support, and I thought that that was very mature of her. So shout out, shout out, shout out to Stormy. Um, the other person I wanted to talk about was Sonny and Moses. So this last episode, I don't know if you guys watched it. I don't know if you watched it yet, Jane. You did watch it because I saw you did a review today. I'm gonna get to that today. Um, but what I found interesting is Sunny has been very boastful about her relationship with Moses. Like this is a prize, right? She hasn't said that this is a prize, but she has entered into competition with Destiny, and she won, and that's her trophy. But what I found interesting was that he's done some serious time. And so I wonder how much does he really offer her other than his presence and his arm. And that is a criteria that a lot of ladies use when they are choosing a mate, really, that I see. And this is not a dig on anyone. I am for love, however it shows up and whatever makes you happy, I'm all the way with it. All the way with it, right? But I just noticed, like she was a producer on the show. She obviously has some things, really some good things going for her. And she said that when she saw him that that was her husband, and he is a very, very good looking man. But I would love to have a conversation with her and see what else did she see to choose her husband, because to choose him as her husband, meaning character and how he treats her, and how he shows up for her, and what his goals are and his intentions, like what is he doing as a whole grown man, and what do you admire about that? Like, it irritated you, Jay. I watched it, but I was kind of checking out a little bit. I was kind of checking out a little bit. How did it irritate you, or do you want to come up and tell me? You want to come up? You can come up, girl. Um, I am definitely gonna watch a review tonight, if not definitely in the morning. But as they were standing outside kind of looking at the house that Martell had built and whatever and all of that, she was the one that seemed to be the mouthpiece. And then when they had the dinner with Kimmy and Maurice, it came out about some of his history. And I'm not downing anyone, with a past such as that, but when choosing your mate, choosing your life, more so the Stormy and Martell scene. When they were talking in the warehouse. I feel you on that. I feel you on that. I know what you meant, Jay. I read the S for the I. Um so I just thought that was interesting. I am gonna follow Stormy, and I am gonna follow Stormy, I mean, not Stormy, Sonny and Moses, because I really want to see if this guy's gonna show up like a husband, like a mate really should. I suspect that he won't. They dated and got married very quickly, and I'm just kind of in agreement with everyone. Most everyone's commentary that I've heard was, that he's there for a ticket, and she is the biggest ticket for him. And so that's why he's attached to her. What I haven't heard is about his incarceration time, and that was just very interesting to me. So I mean, good luck to Sunny. I think she's gonna need it, but girl, that would not be my husband. So I didn't have Own in the title, but have you guys noticed that Own, Miss True T, and please don't come for me, Miss True T. Um, but have you guys noticed that, or did you see her piece that Own has responded to the case between Own, Maurice, And the content creator, I'm going to refrain from saying her name. uh Jay Jay said right. Back to Sonny and Moses. Jay says right because he said she's the best thing that ever happened to him. And he is, and she is. He don't have to worry about nothing. Not even buying a house. Girl, all he got to do is give his sample and get those babies going, and he is set and he knows it. He is a good looking guy though. I will give her that, but I don't see anything else. So yes, you heard it. So OWN has responded, and I kind of wanted to give a little bit of my commentary about it. And I'm gonna speak very cautiously because I understand that Miss True T is sensitive because her heart is in the right place. She seems to be a very passionate person. And when people are very passionate about their work and what they do, and they care and lead like she does with her heart, um, they can be very sensitive and it's easy to offend them. And I don't want to be offensive at all. So, but I'm just giving my commentary on a couple points that responded to, and just kind of introducing it as a little bit of just kind of food for thought, really. Because OWN has been named in this lawsuit, right? And they are named as the employer for Maurice. And they give him the platform to spew or cause harm to this content creator, especially with the information that he pulled. So, just for a little bit of background, he is an attorney, or believed to be an attorney, or maybe even a better term is he presents as an attorney. And he provided some documents to the court that afforded him the ability to get some of the personal information of content creators, their real names, their home addresses, their banking statements, and just a lot of personal information, which was a breach of privacy to them. And he used false information to trick the courts into allowing that. I don't know how far he's gone with it, other than the fact that he committed the action. I'm not really sure how far he's gone with it. But OWN has responded. And two things that stood out to me with them responding. One was they are adamant that he is not an employer of them, which negates the right to sue them. So they are wanting a dismissal. And they're also saying that she has not provided proof that his actions have caused her harm, or and I'm paraphrasing because Miss Truty did do her commentary on this. She read out the whole documents, and I don't want to take away from that. I'm just using it as a subject. So please go to her channel and look at, if you have not seen it, go to her channel and you will see where she has titled that OWN response. So the two things that I think OWN may have a point, y'all. I think OWN may have a point. So I've had many jobs and careers. One of mine was a senior leadership in healthcare. Jay said, right. They said he don't belong to them. And they may have a point, Jay, and they may have a point. So in my background in senior leadership and hiring and terminating and training and all of that fun stuff that I did in that world, in working with nurses in an infusion team, I dealt with a lot of contract staff. I dealt with, especially if I had a position that I needed filled right away, and or even like agency kind of work where you would get a staff from an agency, an employment agency, or anything like that. So I have had people on my team that were not considered an employee by law. When someone is an employee by law, they are physically on your payroll. I mean, just to kind of summarize it, like you are the one that is paying that client, right? Well, there is a such thing as a 1099 where you are an independent contractor, and any compensation that is provided to you is not on a W-2 form, it is on a 1099 form. And there are no benefits, there is no responsibility to you. Um, there isn't, even if you were to get terminated by them, you can't even file for unemployment with this company. And so I think that that is the term that OWN is referencing to kind of get out of this link with Maurice, because I noticed that they kept saying that he is not employed by them. And I'm paraphrasing. He does not work for them. I'm paraphrasing that too. But if he is on a 1099 and he is just getting paid like an independent contractor, um, I thought about that, Jay. If he is, then OWN is out of it, right? Now, where Jay from Jay's View, and from Jay's View has a YouTube channel. From Jay's View just commented and she said technically he's an employee of Kingdom Reign. And I agree with you. And I also remember that in one of his lives or something where I saw like the people were like reporting like on some of when he basically threatened them and said, take it down or I'm gonna sue and all of that. I want to say he mentioned Carlos as a reference, like he had spoken it, talked it over with him, or he said that he was gonna do that and Carlos gave him the okay. But if Carlos, which he most likely does, has him on a 1099, a contractual relationship where you are an independent person working under your own either employee ID or tax ID, depending on how your entity is set up, or even your social, then he's not an employee of Kingdom Reign either. That 1099 and how he's being compensated is really what defines him as an employer. And I doubt that he's actually an employee of Kingdom Reign, because when someone is an employee of yours, there are a couple of things that you have to do in order to bring them on as an employee. And one of the things is there are laws governing full time, part time contract work and things like that. And so if you do so many hours, then they have to provide insurance, and they have to, like, it's certain things that you have to do as an employer. It's certain paperwork that is done to legally bind you with a person as an employer. So I am interested. I am going to be watching this from a spectator place, because I really am interested to see how this is going to unfold with OWN. With that being said, I wholeheartedly believe that Maurice is on the hook. Wholeheartedly believe he is on the hook and he is not getting out of it because of how he went around doing what he did. He's on the ropes, right? But OWN may get out of this one. The other thing that they said was demonstration or something of I'm just gonna put it in my terms because I'm just kind of going off the dome here, but the impact of his actions, like um, from Jay's View said he did. Carlos told him to give the CCs to make it right. I thought so. That's when he wanted the CCs to take down the videos and make a public apology. They took the videos down but didn't do the apology, and here he comes with his trickery. Yeah, I thought it was something like that. It's I've seen it, so thank you for confirming that from Jay's View. Um, so yeah, I think that he is going to be on. I mean, he's definitely on the hook. I'm not taking away from that, but I am interested to see how these lawyers are going to duke it out in reference to connecting OWN to him. And when they's talking about that employee thing and all the things that govern someone being an employee, I think they may get out of it. I could be wrong, but I think they may get out of it. The other thing was about the hardship or the impact, or that she hasn't shown in any way. And I kind of remember this content creator that she may have had a stroke, like she may have ended up in the hospital and had a stroke or something. And I think that that would constitute for some of the damages. I think that it was around all of that time. Um, what I'm not sure of is if that stroke, that health issue that she had, is reflective of the situation between her and Stormy, or a reflection of the situation with Maurice, or a combination of both. So that's my piece on OWN. I was just interested that they had responded and they have stepped into the room. And looks like these attorneys are going to duke it out, honey. And I'm going to be watching Miss True T to see how it all unfolds. Um, so, yeah. Next, let's talk about Basketball Wives. Let's talk about Basketball Wives. Y'all gonna be so proud of me with these little um things that, yay. I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm learning. Uh-oh. And I'm out of the uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm back. Okay. So let's talk about Basketball Wives. So the two people that I wanted to talk about, first we're gonna start with Jen. So as I was watching this return, and y'all, I haven't watched Basketball Wives probably since the Govan sisters was on there. I can't remember what turned me off. That's how long ago it's been, but something turned me off where I just kind of needed a break, and I just never picked it back up, right? But I'm in this YouTube space, and I am, digging for topics that work, things that may be fun to commentary on. I do have a new show that I'm going to be adding. That's off topic though. So I gave Basketball Wives a shot, and I'll probably watch it a couple more episodes and see what it turns out, see if there's some good things coming out of it. But this is what I found interesting, right? So, Jen, I like that Jen had invited Jackie out to kind of, you know, talk about some things. They hadn't seen each other since the reunion, and the reunion was pretty volatile or whatever. It was pretty heated. And in that space with Jackie, she was, you know, being a friend. I would even watch that where they were talking, and Jackie told her that she was going to try to get the girls together and have a ponderosa to kind of talk about some of the issues that they had and get everything on track. She didn't have beef with everybody. She wanted Jen to be there. She even said to Jen, and you can be the mediator, or you can be the in-between person. And Jen was like, I don't know about that, but I will be there to support you. Um, I like that she was kind of being open and giving Jackie a fair share, or an open ear, knowing how everyone else kind of felt about the situation. I like that. And so I was like, okay, Jen, I remember how Jen can be a girl's girl. Get to the lunch that she's having with Brandy Maxiel and Brooke. And they mentioned that Jackie is having this ponderosa, and Brandy says that the Brooke had her issue where Jackie gave her an apology and then rescinded it by going on a press tour saying she was made to do it. I agree with how Brooke feels about that. I don't know if it will be something where I will want to smack her about, but I understand why she's kind of keeping her distance from Jackie. The situation isn't genuine, and that's what it is, right? Brandy comes in, and Brandy says that she overhears this call that everybody's talking about, where Jackie was on a call with everybody, and then she ended it, and it was a couple people on the call. Brandy was privy to that call, and Jackie didn't know she was on the call, right? And so Brandy is kind of like a neutral person that heard what Jackie was saying, which was dragging Shawnee and Evelyn. Like, why are they here? Why are they over here? Why aren't they in Miami? This is kind of my spot or whatever. And I'm paraphrasing. And I don't disagree with her feeling that way, right? I wanted the same thing when they showed up on LA. What I found was interesting was, what is her name? Jen told Brandy, you should come. Like, you can be my guest. And Brandy was like, listen, can you tell her that I'm coming? Like, can you give her a heads up? Basically, like, y'all know how Jackie could be. And Jen was like, no, I'm not going to tell her. Like, she better be glad that I'm coming. And that kind of like struck me because she didn't have that energy when she was talking to Jackie. And this is how Jen can get herself into trouble, really, because this, I was just reminded of how she can be two-faced. And I wanted to bring that up because for me, a person, I would have liked to see Jen say, yeah, I'll give her a heads up, or you know how Jackie is, it may not go well, but I got your back. Like Jackie and I have a certain rapport, and I think that I can handle her. Um, but for her to say like she better be glad that I'm showing up, it just brought to light the fakery of it all. And to me, you haven't watched the episode, girl. I won't tell you if it's worth watching, Jay. I don't want you to be like, that just told me to watch this crap, and it is a hot mess. I can say this, that it was frustrating. The end of it was frustrating, but all the bickering and fighting and toxicity that goes on in it wasn't there this time. It hadn't gotten there yet. So this last episode may be safe. I definitely can vouch for the one coming up because I think it's gonna get to be too much for me. So but that was Jen. It was just the two-faced of it all. And I know for me, I've reached a space that I don't deal in any spaces that aren't authentic. And the last thing that you can do is let me know that you're moving kind of shady. And I'm not gonna say anything, but it's definitely gonna change the dynamics. I mean, if the friendship is close enough, we may have a conversation. But if it's just kind of like a stray, and not saying that Jen is a stray, just meaning how sometimes you have your core circle and someone may be a friend of a friend or something like that. To me, it's not worth addressing. But once I get wind of kind of like your shady moves, I don't hang out in them spaces. And I think that there is too much of kind of just allowing toxicity to exist in our spaces just to kind of keep the peace. I'm kind of over that. But I'm telling you, I was like right there with Jen until that moment, like as if it's a privilege, like she's doing Jackie a favor for her being her friend. And I remember that, and I immediately got turned off. So I don't even know. I think the girl who is engaged to the WNBA player, she may be someone that I may enjoy watching because she seems pretty cool. But for right now, it's not really anybody I'm interested in really watching for real. But anyway, so Jackie, right? I think Jackie is a real live narcissist. And when we talk about narcissists and we bring up people that are narcissists, we always talk about the men and their relationship stuff. I haven't really seen it introduced in spaces where women behave that way. And women can actually be that way without, you know, going too deep. I've had my own experience actually dealing with an experience now with a person that I believe is narcissistic that's really close to the family. And I just kind of leave that there because I do have some family members that have subscribed to my channel, and I don't want to create no drama. And it may or may not be a family member that they know. Let me just put that disclaimer out there. But Jackie, right? So, as I mentioned, Brooke's daughter has died, and I think she died suddenly and tragically. Um, and it was a big thing, of course, because this is her daughter, right? And so Jackie was not there for her. I don't think Jackie had inner interaction when she was going through that process. So at filming of last season, this is just my understanding because I did not watch last season. So at filming of last season, one of Jackie's amend tours, because every time you look around, she's on this amendment tour. One of her amend tours was with Brooke, and she apologized to Brooke for not being there. She was very empathetic to her situation. her apology was strong enough that Brooke did not like let it phase her. Like she, accepted the apology and they were kind of able to move on. Well, after the show ended, Jackie, and they're showing B-roll clips and clips of her on these interviews saying that she was made to do that. I didn't want to apologize to her. I was made to apologize to her. They kept saying, can you apologize? Can you apologize? Like they literally had footage of this, right? So there, fast forward. Okay, so Brooke is saying that that's a slap in the face. That's one of her issues. Evelyn's issue is her saying that she would slap her in this secret, not so secret phone call. So that's Evelyn's issue. Jen is neutral. She doesn't have an issue with her. Brandy overheard the call. She really, really heard it. Jackie didn't know she was on the call, as we learned in the episode. So Brandy is there. Jackie brought a friend with her, Cheyenne, I think that was her name, who would be a mediator that knows her very well. And so this Cheyenne was there. And then the young lady who is engaged to the basketball player, she was there. And she's also very neutral. So they're at this table, they're having this ponderosa. Of course, Jackie leads it out, and Jackie is saying she doesn't have an issue with anybody. She doesn't want any problems, basically. Um, you know, Everything is all good with her. And so Evelyn's like, what do you think the understanding? What is your understanding of what the issue is? And Jackie really doesn't have an answer. So Evelyn elaborates about this phone call that she had, where she was dragging she and Shawnee. And at first, Jackie was saying that she didn't say that. She didn't know what she was talking about. But Brandy Maxwell is there. She overheard the call. And so with her input and what she heard, Jackie couldn't lie about it, right? So she had to admit that. Sorta. So her admission was, well, if I said it, I don't want to slap you, Evelyn. Like, I don't have an issue with you, Evelyn. Like, she was being so kind and, you know, appeasing in that moment. And she said, give me an example. So, if you guys feel like this is how I am or whatever, give me an example. So Evelyn gives her the example of Brooke and that situation. Jackie lit up. She didn't say that. She didn't do that. This girl is lying, lying. Now, they show the footage of this actually happening, this actually coming out, and she is literally like turning up, y'all throwing dirt on my name, start calling them out their name, like all of these different things. And that's what kind of peeked into my mind about the narcissism of it all, and how many women do we deal with that are not able to accept accountability, even when they wrong someone, even when the evidence is right in front of their face, even when people are calling her out, not even in a like it wasn't a volatile way, although Evelyn's energy was very you can tell she was frustrated, but her voice wasn't raised. She wasn't nasty, nasty how she can be. Um, so I would say that the tension that was being brought into the situation was coming from Jackie. And it was so bad that Evelyn was just like, I'm not gonna deal with this. Let me just go, because you ain't, this is crazy. Like, why do you have us here if you're not gonna own up to anything? And Jennifer eventually had the same kind of energy, and so did Brandy. Brandy left to check on Evelyn. So now it's just Jackie and the young lady that we're speaking about that's engaged to the basketball player. And I just haven't learned her name yet. So forgive me for that. So it's just her and Jackie and the friend. And so she is trying to appeal to Jackie. She's like, I think the reason why they feel this way is because, and Jackie just look at her like straight face and says, you can leave. And so the girl is like, well, wait a minute. Now you coming at me, you pushing me towards Evelyn, and I didn't even, like, I'm here to try to, and she couldn't even get her sentence out. Jackie was like, "You can go." And what struck me was when she said, "I love you, but you can go." Like, I love you though, but you can go. And it's like, how many times do people disrespect you, um, put you in uncomfortable situations, can even be low key abusive, but then they turn around and say that they love you, And to me, what they're saying in that moment is, I don't have respect for you. I can treat you any kind of way I want to. I can do that to you. And I'm telling you, I love you because I still want access to you. You still may be, this connection may still be a benefit to me. So I'm going to tell you, I love you, although my actions is anything but that. And I see that, even I apply that to relationships. I apply that to cheating men. I apply that to abusive people, abusive relationships. I mean, it's not just men and women. Siblings can be abusive. Mothers and daughters can be abusive. I mean, like, it can show up in any type of relationship. But I did find that, like, I was just like, wow. And so I don't know how this season with Basketball Wives is going to go, because with Jackie clearly being recorded, and there's all kind of footage about this. Like, even though this is airing this past week, this stuff probably happened, like, at the before summer even started. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it didn't just happen. And Jackie is very aware of what she did and what she was doing, even what she did to Brooke, and she couldn't own it. And not only, it's one thing to not be able to own it, it's another thing to become just like nasty and abusive and dismissive. And then turn around and tell this girl, I love you. Like, what is she supposed to do with that? So, yeah, basketball wise, the narcissism and two faced of it all. I don't know if I'll be able to I don't know if I'll be able to stomach it. So the last thing that I wanted to get to um was, I don't know if you guys are watching the YSL trial with Young Thug. It's happening here in Atlanta. It's been going on for 2 years. And I was doing a piece about like the live that I had recorded that did not have any audio to it. I was talking about, nope, you haven't. Oh, Jay. I'm gonna put some links in the description of this video to send you to a couple YouTube channels that you can get like the whole background of it. But I wanted to talk about this in this space, and I am going to elaborate it more on Bama Girl 2.0, because that is a channel that's really going to be for the community. But okay, so Young Thug is on trial in Atlanta, and they have him for RICO charges, racketeering and corrupt and something organization. He belongs to a they're saying that he belongs to a gang. I'm paraphrasing because I don't want these people coming for me, and I'm right here in Atlanta, right? So the court system, this case has exposed so much of the corrupt here in Georgia and what they do to these young men. And I called it the pipeline to prison because it is exactly that, right? So just in on this case, so this is a highly publicized case. The news is there. I mean, Young Thug is a rapper, right? So it's gotten a lot of attention, and it's been going on for 2 years. So there is this kid, um, right, girl, wait till I tell you what happened. Um, woo, child. Okay, so it's Young Thug and four other defendants that are all being tried at the same time right now. There are several others that may be tried, right? Okay. Now, with this being said, it's a lot of violence that goes on here. I mean, it just is, just is. And something does need to be done about it. The reason why I wanted to bring it to our attention, because um the community and us as women and our prayers and that sort of a thing, like, it is so needed. So, trying to stay on topic with this. Um so there's this young man, his name is Kenneth Copeland. He goes by Little Woody, right? He and Young Thug were friends. These kids are all from the same projects. They kind of grew up together, and Young Thug is the rapper that kind of made it out, right? So Woody had caught a case that landed him in federal prison. When he got out of federal prison, and all his time of isolation, um, in all his time of isolation, he when he came out, he had an epiphany, and God had really spoken to him. He learned that God was really real. He said that like, some people was about to kill him. It was getting heated. Everything was getting so tight for him, and he really didn't know if when he woke up the next morning, if he would be alive. Like, this is how tight it was for him. And I have his recording. I'm going to play it at the end of this live, because I think it's very important for us to get to know him as a human person, because this isn't over for him yet. And as you guys get to know me, I can kind of connect with the spirit of a person, just empathize with them. And so he is really, really on my heart. Like, I've been praying for him. He's really on my heart, and I catch his lives all the time just to try to support him. So, getting back to what's happening, right? So he got out, he got his CDL license, he began driving trucks. In the meantime, everybody else is living their lives, everybody else is doing their thing, and all the drama is still happening in Atlanta. All the crime, all the shootings, all the stuff. And I love Atlanta. So I'm not speaking from a perspective of don't ever come here. There are some great, great things about this city. The culture. There's so many things that I love about Atlanta, right? But this is a very real part of living here. So Little Woody slash Kenneth Copeland was in a club flashing his money, like he had money, and some guys were trying to rob him, like even take his pants off and stuff like that, trying to get to the money. Right? He was able to get away, and they roughed him up, beat him up real bad or whatever before he got away, but he was able to get away. It is believed, or Young Thug is accused of going to war about Woody. Like, went to war about him. Okay. And so, and this is all allegedly, because he's on trial now. So I don't, I ain't pointing a finger at nobody. But this is the synopsis going around what happened. So so there was beef between two groups. People were being unalived, right? It's a war. Okay. There is one guy that they call Nut, or Little Nut, or something like that. That is believed that he was killed, and it is believed that Young Thug orchestrated it. That's what they're all on trial for. Okay, Lil Woody had nothing to do with that. Right. So in this process of Lil Woody getting jumped in the club and getting beat up, and allegedly Young Thug going to war about this situation, and creating an even bigger war between two different groups. Folks are being targeted. Kenneth Copeland was one of them. Little Woody was one of them. One day he was outside with his newborn baby. He noticed a car rolling up on him. They pointed the gun out the window. He was ready. So they're shooting. He's shooting back. This dude aim is so good, he was able to shoot the weapon and jam the weapon, and those people wrecked. Right. So now the police is harassing him, and the DA people are harassing him for him to tell who was shooting at him. Like, who are the people? Because this person, Nut, ended up getting killed. And they're saying that Young Thug orchestrated it. Like he rented the car for the people who pulled it off. And after it pulled off, a few minutes later, a whole group of them is at this McDonald's that's not far away. Like they're using their cell phones, triangulating their cell phones, and all of this kind of stuff, right? Um, Kenneth Copeland is said to have shown up after everything was going on, but because, of course, it is believed that this whole situation is happening because of the situation that he had in the club, right? A retaliation kind of thing. So his cell phone is believed to have been there or whatever. All of this is circumstantial evidence and stuff, right? And they really can't get the evidence that they need to say it didn't happen because of the way that they moved. So, as I mentioned, that when Kenneth Copeland did his time in feds, where he believes that God is real, because it was heat on him to where his life was in danger and he didn't really know which way to go. And when he wake up the next morning, the police is knocking or whatever, and he ends up in federal prison. He says that he is of the lowest of the low. He don't have no business being in federal prison, but that's kind of where God set him down at, which gave a lot of time to pass and for him to come out and start his new life. So he has started his new life. He's driving trucks, he's doing his thing. He's still in the street life somewhat because he was in that club, but he's not attached to any of the crime stuff anymore. He's got his children and he kind of want to focus is there. So, because he was there and he also used a weapon against whoever that was shooting at him that time, they kind of got him on the ropes. And so they keep bringing him in um, to make him say who was shooting at him. He's saying he don't remember. They have him in a 9-hour interrogation thing to where he says he just starts giving them information so they'll let him go. Fast forward, they are now at the trial. He's the key witness for the trial because of whatever it was he gave them in this testimony. And he is the key witness for this trial. And he is scheduled to show up and testify, which would implicate Young Thug, right? And basically solidify him as the person who retaliated on his behalf. This is the goal of the state. So, as they are coming up to the day that he is supposed to testify, he is saying that he's going to plead the fifth. So this is kind of like in the middle of the week, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. He said Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But he's saying he's going to plead the fifth. Like he don't want to testify. He's already being labeled as a rat. Folks are already threatening and all that kind of stuff. And he believes that Thug is a good person. Like they really were friends. Like he does not want to do this. So they have basically pulled him from his life into this situation about this person being killed. And if he didn't have anything to do with it. He wasn't in the car, he wasn't with the rental applications, he was not anywhere near where anything said to have happened. They are placing him at the meetup spot afterwards. That is where you can put him into this situation. There's a lot of defenses around that, right? So he is not the one who they're targeting, but they're using him. He's supposed to be state witness. So he is telling them that he is going to plead the fifth. He has an attorney. His Tuesday, Wednesday, they're saying he's going to plead the fifth, right? He's supposed to testify on Friday, on this particular Friday. So Thursday, his attorney sends an email to the prosecution attorney saying, hey, my client is going to plead the fifth, right? What they did was went and got the judge to sign an order giving Woody immunity for anything that, now mind you, we're in 2024, right? for anything that happened between 2014 or 2015 or 2019. I want to say maybe it's 2019 on, right? What they gave him immunity for is one, he didn't ask for it, he didn't want it. Two, the two things that they can't implement him on, state statutes of prosecution time or whatever has ran out, and so has federal. So he really didn't need immunity. So they only gave him immunity to force him to testify. Because if you say that you are going to plead the fifth, when they start asking you questions, you can be held in contempt because you have immunity. So, mind you, I said that his attorney emailed them and said, "Hey, my client is gonna plead the fifth." Woody told them when they met with him a couple times, even without his attorney, that he is planning to plead the fifth. He don't want to do this. This don't have anything to do with him. Y'all put my life in danger. He gets to court on Friday, and they start asking him questions. He's saying, "I plead the fifth," and they hold him in contempt of court. Put him in jail the entire weekend because you can't plead the fifth. You got immunity. So he's in jail over the weekend, right? He's calling people, telling them to put money on his books. Like he's prepared for this jail stay for the weekend. They see that he's getting too comfortable. They move him from Rice Street, which is the jail in Atlanta, to DeKalb County, a totally different county. Kind of hide him. Throw him in solitary confinement. Don't let his attorney came to speak with him that Saturday. His attorney can't even find him because, of course, we learned that he's not even there. They put him in DeKalb County in a room. He said it smelled like death. They didn't give him any water, any food. They didn't give him anything over that weekend. One lady said to him, and I'm going to play the recording at the end. I'm just going to kind of leave it up in the live because I want people to hear from him really so they can connect to him because if something happens to him, some things need to be said about it. But anyway, so they have him in DeKalb County, which you have Fulton County and DeKalb. Fulton is where this case is happening. DeKalb is another county, miles away or whatever, maybe like 15, 16 miles away. So he's over there. Nobody knows where he is or whatever. Somebody says to him, what they're doing is they're punishing him, trying to force him to testify, right? So someone in the system says to him, "Did you say you was going to commit suicide?" He was like, "I'm sorry, should I say that word? That you were going to take your own self away from here? That you was going to go?" He said, "Do I look like a person that would do that?" "Oh, you did it. You said it. You said it. Give me all your clothes." And so he told them, "You're going to have to come in here and get them." Then they called the goons in there. So he didn't want to get beat up, so he gave them the clothes. So not only are they starving him, they leave him in there for the entire weekend with no clothes in a cold jail on the slab to sleep on. Like no clothes, like butt naked the whole weekend. During this trial, the the defense attorneys are making all types of objections and all of these rights that are being violated and stuff. They're objecting, and the judge is overruling, right? So it's already, people are watching this and saying that this judge is rogue, like this judge is on the payroll, like they're already watching this and saying this, right? So he's in jail over the weekend to give him time to think because he has immunity and he can't plead the fifth. They want his testimony and he got to answer to this call or we're going to throw you back in jail. So Monday, court is going to revene. Court is coming back. I want you guys to picture this. This man has been in jail for the entire weekend. He hasn't spoken to his family. He hasn't eaten. He hasn't drank. He's been stripped of his clothes for the entire weekend. Um, and he's not even in a county that he knows anybody. Like his family doesn't even know where he is. His attorney doesn't even know where he is. His attorney tried to see him on Saturday and couldn't find him. Um, and he sent an email. So anyway, it's Monday. They're going to be doing court again because Woody has been held in contempt. He needs representation there to do what they call purge, which is not perjury, but purge, kind of relieve yourself of the contempt. So his attorney had a pre-planned vacation that was in the books on site since December. This is now June. This is all happening around the first weekend in June. The date that we're talking about where he held him in contempt was Friday, June 7th. Now we're into Monday, June 10th. So his attorney sends a different attorney. Her name is Attorney Bumpus, and I'm going to give you guys her YouTube as well because she's helping him. She's assisting Woody. So she is there as his attorney just to get him through this contempt thing, right? So picture this. He is brought into the judge chambers, right, Jay? Oh, it gets even crazier. And this is real. So he's been in jail the whole weekend. They gave him immunity that he didn't want to, that he didn't want to have. He's being labeled as a rat. His life is in jeopardy. His family's life is in jeopardy. And the only thing he can think about while he's in there is that he can't protect his family. Because, mind you, they have already tried to comfort him, which is how he got kind of connected with this whole situation. Anyway, so he's in chains. He's in an orange jumpsuit. And who is in that room is the judge on the case. The judge on the case is the lead judge for Fulton County. Like he's the chief judge of Fulton County. That's who's residing on this case, right? The prosecuting attorneys, the bailiffs, the court reporter, and the two detectives that has been working this case. So if you imagine a young man, and taking Lil Woody aside, I'm just talking about the trickery and the things that they can get away with, what they be doing to these young men, right? So if you imagine this person being in this situation, being brought into the judge chambers before court starts, and the only person that's representing them is a state appointed attorney, you already know how this is gonna go. And they've already violated so many rights in between time. Like they wouldn't even let this man see his attorney, you know? So they come into this room and they're going to have what is being labeled as an ex parte meeting because they also didn't invite the defense attorneys. They didn't even notify the defense attorneys that this meeting was happening in the judge's chamber. So they're all in there. Kayla Bumpus is there as the stand-in person because his real attorney is he was on vacation. His tickets couldn't be repurchased and they knew about this. So to me, they kind of planned it around the attorney being gone or whatever, or not available. But that's neither here nor there. So they're in this judge's chambers. They bring Woody in, and what they are putting on record is saying, we don't want you in jail. It is messed up. It's terrible. But wait, we ain't even done with the corruption of it all. So they're saying to him, we don't want you in jail. We just want you to answer truthfully on the stand. Like we just you can't plead the fifth when we've given you immunity. You have immunity. You have to testify. You can't plead the fifth. Now, this entire transcript, Jay, this entire transcript is released. On the last live, I kind of read through the whole thing, but you can really see it on, if you just Google YSL trial transcript, you can see this entire transcript because the judge was forced to release it. So basically, in this meeting, they are telling him that He can't plead the fifth. They can throw him back in jail indefinitely. It's against the law to throw him in jail for contempt, for civil contempt, because this is considered civil contempt. It's not considered criminal contempt. Him refusing to testify is considered civil attempt, and I want to say the maximum jail sentence is 20 days. The judge wouldn't give him a jail sentence. The attorney was saying, so can you keep him in there indefinitely? Like kind of challenging what they're doing without coming directly at it. And the judge was like, no, we're not saying that. I can't keep him there indefinitely. We just need him to testify. So instead of kind of giving a hard answer, he would go back to what they wanted from him. The prosecuting attorney says, well, we'll keep him in here until the case is over. Mind you, this case has been going on for 2 years. And it's 6 defendants in this case. And then we have 12 more that may be coming up. So it could take us 2 to 3 years to get this case going. Now, they'd had this kid in here butt naked in a cell in a totally different county, isolated him from his family. He says, you hadn't even let me talk to my family. Y'all hadn't even given me any water. And she said, well, your sister called and we told her that we laid eyes on you and you was okay. Again, not answering the question of y'all not letting me see my family. Y'all not letting me talk to my family. So Miss Bumpus, who is the attorney there to kind of represent him, she says, well, I believe there is an email from his attorney that may add some clarity to this, right? Because the prosecuting attorney said he didn't have an attorney. She said, you told me that you didn't have an attorney. He said, I didn't tell you that I didn't have an attorney. I told you that I hadn't spoke to my attorney. The lies, the twisting, because mind you, this stuff is being recorded. So what they're doing is they're making sure they put the right things in for the dictation for the court reporter to, so if someone neutral was to read it, it will appear it's on the up and up versus what's really happening in this room, right? So he said, well, she said, you didn't ask to speak to him. You didn't ask us to call him. If you had said to call him when we were speaking to you in the car, like why are y'all pulling up to this man and making him get in the car and talk to y'all without his attorney present, knowing you have an attorney? Why are you doing that? Because you don't want his attorney to be there. Although you're saying that he don't have an attorney. He said, well, y'all didn't make it seem like I needed to talk to him. Y'all didn't make it seem like you didn't give me any indication that I needed to talk to him. So the attorney sent an email. The attorney had sent an email on Thursday saying my client is going to plead the fifth. The prosecuting attorney says, I know that your attorney wanted to speak to me. I wasn't available. That's why he sent the email. She replies back and says, we have immunity. He can't plead the fifth. The attorney told her, F you. Y'all are going to get him killed. And he copied the defense attorneys on his email. So she's like, who are you looking out for? The defense, the people that we're going after, or your client? But what he was doing was letting them know what they are doing and what they are trying to like orchestrate. And so he also said in this email that I showed up to see my client on Saturday. I wasn't able to find him. I don't know what you guys are speaking to him about. So if he testifies and he doesn't plead the fifth, then I can't represent him because I don't know what's going on. So that's how they got it to where he didn't have an attorney. Miss Bumpus is there to see him through this thing where they have him in contempt, but she's not his attorney either. She's walking into this blindly, seeing what they're doing to this young man. So again, they keep telling him, we want you to testify. We just want we just we just want your testimony. We just want you to say what you know about what happened. Like that's what we want from you. We don't want to see you in jail. That's not what we want to do. He is in handcuffs. He is in a jumpsuit. He don't have any clothes on under the jumpsuit because they took his clothes. He said he smelled so bad that you could tell people were scooting away from him because he had spent that whole weekend with nothing. Wasn't even able to shower. And this is how they treat people to get what they want from them. This young man tells her, I had been telling you since Tuesday that I was going to plead the fifth. I didn't want immunity. Why would you do that? The judge said they decided that they wanted your testimony more so than they wanted the Fifth Amendment to be implemented. Is that not a violation of his rights? And the judge is backing them up. He either has to testify and do what they want, or they're going to throw him back in jail indefinitely. And all I could think about was all the young men that get caught up in these situations. Because he said that he was gonna lie. He told them in that chamber that he lied when he was talking to the investigators. Y'all kept putting so much pressure on me. Y'all kept coming at me every other day. Y'all busting in my house, causing me to more trauma, more trauma, more trauma. I just wanted it to stop. So I just told them whatever I needed to tell them to make them leave me alone and give me some peace. You know, the prosecuting attorney said that she didn't really care that he was going to be dishonest. Basically, like if you read this transcript, it's going to blow your mind. Now, attorneys, when they find out, even a defense attorney finds out that their client is going to lie on the stand, they have a duty to the court to go and get off the case. Like there's a duty that they have to the court system to be removed from the case because, hey, Your Honor, they can't tell because of client privilege, they can't come out and say, hey, he gonna lie on the stand, but they be like, listen, my client's gonna testify. The judge read between the lines and let them off the case. So here this is the prosecuting attorney where he's saying that he ain't gonna be truthful. She don't care. They want him on the stand. Whether his life gonna be in danger or not, whether he want to or not. And the judge is backing it up. Like he was arguing for himself and kind of pinning them to a corner. And the judge was like, listen, 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 listen. Let all that go. Because even if you had got on the stand and said that you were pleading the fifth, you would still be in this situation. And if you lie, you could still be in this situation. So Attorney Bumpus is telling him, like I told you, it's kind of, you're going to be back here or not. Either way, you're going to be back here because this is what they want. So they basically forced him, and they call it witness coercion or whatever. They basically forced him to testify, like forced him to testify. And if you see his testimony, like this stuff came out kind of at like after this ex parte meeting, like it came to light just recently, and I'm going to get to that. But as we're watching his testimony, everybody is laughing because of the way that he's like, it's like he don't recall. They even coached him to say, if it's, we don't expect for you to remember everything from 2015 or 2019. But if you don't remember, you could just say you don't recall. Like they was actually coaching him so she can get through her questions and put her stuff out on the table. So he agrees to testify. Like he don't really have a choice because they're saying that they're gonna keep him in jail basically until everything is over. His daughter's birthday was coming up that week. And the whole time they're putting on record, we don't want to see you in jail. Don't you want to help yourself? Like we don't want to see you in jail. And so after talking with Miss Bumpus again, and he decides that he's going to go ahead and testify. So they get to trial, and he began testifying. Attorney Steele, which is Young Thug's attorney, he comes on board And he tells the judge about this ex parte meeting that he heard about. First, the judge denies it. Then he wants to know where he got that information from. He is not concerned about this illegal meeting that they had and how they violated his client's rights by not even letting the defense attorney know that the meeting was going on. Like, in this meeting, Kenneth Copeland admitted to some of the crimes, and which would exonerate my client, but they told Kenneth Copeland they didn't believe he was telling the truth. So they kind of dismissed that. And they didn't let the defense attorney know because they want Young Thug to go down. Like they spend a lot of money on this. They want him to go down. So Brian Steele is challenging it. And these two attorneys are going at it. Two of the defense attorneys are going at it, and they ask him to recuse himself. But before they do that, as he and Brian Steele are going at it, the judge was like, if you don't tell me how you got this information, I'm holding you in contempt. He was like, I'm not gonna reveal my source. I'm not gonna do that. This is my last warning. He said, I'm not gonna do that. He sentenced this attorney to 20 days in jail for not telling him. He gave him the maximum criminal sentence, knowing that that was a civil penalty. This is the head judge in Fulton County, flexing his muscles, handling things illegally, violating rights left and right and right and left. And he is the chief judge in Fulton County. There is media there. There is national coverage of this case. Like people are aware that this case is going down. And for him to be so brazen to do the things that he's done, can you imagine what happens with the youth? And I don't know if you guys know, but here in Georgia, in middle school, they put real charges on these kids. You know how when we were in school, if somebody got into a fight, you was suspended for 2 or 3 days. And I am not negating the seriousness of the factor at all. I'm not negating or excusing the behavior of these kids. That's a whole nother situation. It's a whole nother situation, a whole nother conversation. What I am speaking to is the grooming and the way that they imprison these kids. Like that is what that there is no rehabilitation at all. There is no help at all. They put real charges like assault charges, like terroristic threats, like all of these different type of charges. They will kick them out, put them in alternative school, and they have this entire file with them, right? In DeKalb County, when a middle school kid goes to alternative school, there are two ways that they can get to school. The parent has to drop them off, or they come by bus escort. What that means is they have to get to the train station, and and a bus brings them from the train station to the alternative school. There is a police officer on the bus, and then there is a police car escort in the front and the back of the bus. These are middle school kids that they transport like prisoners. Do you know what that kind of programming does to a kid's mind? Like, where are they going to be rehabilitated in there? And if they make it out, they return back to school. And I'm speaking from something that I know. Because when my son was in middle school, I spent a lot of time at the school. I was an ultrasound tech. I worked 312s night shifts. So as he was coming up in school, I spent so much time in school. My presence was so there in school that my friends used to joke with me and say that when he graduated, I was going to get a diploma too. That's how involved I was in the school. And I became support systems for a lot of parents, support system for a lot of kids. And so I was privy to a lot of different things that happen with the kids, even as a stand in between with them, because it's hard. It's hard. I don't have judgment for nobody. I don't judge anyone. I just be coming from a place of help. So I'm speaking from a very real experience of this young kid who got into a situation, and I can talk about that at a different time. What I'm saying is he went to alternative school. I know that this was his experience because I was partnering with his mom to try to get him back and forth to school so he wouldn't have to have this bus experience as often as, as less as possible or whatever. And when he returned back, I was one invited to the hearing meeting when he left and when he returned. And the principal that sent him to alternative school wasn't even his principal. The incident happened after school. That's a whole nother thing. But when I returned back and he was brought back to the school and he had to meet with the registrar who was a female woman before they can let him back into school and kind of go through all of his stuff. This is the following year because he was able to pass to the next grade and get back into middle school. When she met with this lady and her son, she told this lady, "Here is his file. Here are all the charges. You have enough that if he gives you any more problems, you can go to a judge and tell the judge that this is his file. I don't know what else to do with him and turn him over to the state." That is the help that they give these young mothers, these stressed out mothers. That is the assistance that they give them, is the encourage to turn their young men over to the state. And that's what I'm speaking about, the pipeline. And if you get a young man in a situation that this grown man is in, can you imagine what will happen to him? Or even if they want him to lie on the stand because they have a target for someone else. That's happening in Kenneth Copeland's case, right? So getting back to the trial, and I know this is an excerpt. I'm going to edit this video to kind of make it I'm going to upload it and kind of make it to where it's understandable by most. But getting back to this current trial, right? So when they go to court on that Monday, when first of all, when they're in that room and he agrees reluctantly, forced to testify, um, hey, mental wealth and wellness and self care tips and talks. I'm so glad to see you. I'm I didn't even know you was in the room, girl. Hey, so getting back to this in parte meeting, I forgot to mention to you guys, I said that this kid was butt naked under this orange uniform. And now that reluctantly agreed to testify, they want to go find him a suit, right? And so he's like, "Nah, I'm not. I want to go. Y'all don't want the people to see what y'all did to me. Like y'all don't want the people to see what y'all did to me." So he want to go in his orange jumpsuit, smelling like he's smelling, looking like he looking, because he is fed up. And again, I'm gonna play one of his lives on Instagram, and I'm gonna drop his information because this kid has connected to my heart, and I don't want to see anything happen to him. And I think that it's important for us to see, although all the crime and the violence looks so awful, I think it's important for us to try to see them as human beings and as women. What we can do is intercede in prayer because it's needed, because this is one case. Hey, girl, I'm glad you're here anyway. I needed to work out a second time today, but this is just one case. And based on my experience in the middle school and seeing this case, I understood why the jails are full and kids are dying in jail and all this kind of stuff. So he is telling them that he wants to go in his jumpsuit. And the attorney who is there with him says, can y'all make him put on clothes? And that jar the because again, this is all in transcript, and so that was able to jar them to be honest. No, we can't make him put on clothes. So he went, the first testimony that he did, he was in his prison jumpsuit. And we don't know that by looking at the trial, everything that happened behind the scenes and what was going on. But as all of this is coming out, we're learning it now. So Brian Steele is challenging the judge because of this ex parte meeting that he had without his client being present, and the judge threw him in contempt. He had him arrested in court right then. And what he said was, "Can I stay in the cell with my client so we can continue to work on our case?" This is a high profile white attorney that thugged it out with his client and was like, "Okay, I'm going to jail because I ain't telling you who told me." They filed petitions for this judge to be removed off the case because although it was suspected by the way that he was handling things, and everybody was kind of saying that this was like this was like clear cut and dry, that this is what's happening. And he was reading the motions and he was like, "No, I ain't going nowhere. Nope, I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to preside over this case." Again, operating illegally because he wasn't supposed to hear those. He was supposed to forward those over to the Georgia Supreme Court so they can assign a judge to hear it. But he is flexing his muscles, just doing whatever he wanted to do. So what happened, the there were appeals filed to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court stepped in and got Brian Stills his where he had held the attorney in contempt and sentenced him to 20 days of criminal contempt, when which was really happening was a civil contempt, and I think the maximum was 72 hours. They got that overturned. They didn't really overturn it. They said that it needed to be that contempt needed to be heard by another judge. And so it's deferred, and of course that's going to get washed out because he was violating the attorney's rights. The recusal, right? So the Supreme Court got in on the recusal also. So now that is going to be heard by another judge. They got in and they're kind of handling things appropriately. And I believe that there was a conversation that was had with him because, like I said, little Woody came back to court on Monday where they forced him to testify. I think he testified like 2 or 3 days. Finally, the Supreme Court got involved around that Thursday or Friday or something like that. So that Monday when they came back to court, he had a different attitude. Like he was hearing the motions to object and he was being more fair in his presiding. So it's like somebody must have had a conversation with him. Then he had to read off the motions for him to be recused, and they're assigning it to another judge. So court is like halted right now until they can figure out what's going to happen with this judge. Is he going to be removed off the case? Here's the kicker. Mind you, I said that he was the lead judge in Fulton County. So even some judges was like, "Oh no, I'm not touching that. I recuse myself. I recuse myself," because they are his subordinates actually, right? And so y'all want me to hear a case and get my superior kicked off of this case? Like I ain't trying to go down that road. I got to report back to this man. One judge said that she would do it, but the Supreme Court said no. No, not the Supreme Court. The attorneys are fighting for it not to be held in Fulton County anymore. They want to push it to another county. So it's looking like that this may be a mistrial for Young Thug. Because Kenneth Copeland gave him hell. Kenneth Copeland gave them hell on the stand. Like the kid cannot read, y'all. He got hearing problems. He got all kinds of you when you hear this clip of him being on live that I'm gonna play at the end, you can tell all the trauma. And you can tell how he's living day to day, not knowing if they coming for him. And I just don't believe anybody should have to live like that. And it just gave me real insight into what actually happens in the court system. And if they will violate the rights at this level with these high power attorneys, these people that really know the law, not someone that's with a state attorney, but they are challenging people that are known in the system. And you got the highest court in Fulton County acting this way on a case to violate rights left and right just to get what they want. Can you imagine what happens with the youth? It's not right. And so I wanted to bring this. I just wanted to bring it to our attention. So what I'm gonna do is I am gonna Lil Woody has a YouTube channel now. That was a live that went on last night with the attorney Bumpus, who was helping him, and she's willing to teach him to read, and you will see how conflicted this poor kid is. He's lost so many people. His first best friend was murdered at 13. His mom is dead, his dad is dead, and he has the biggest heart. And I'm not saying um to excuse any of the wrongdoings, but for me, I am going to be interceding every time I can and petitioning God for some help and some assistance and doing what I can when I can. Um, and I just think at a minimum, this is something that we can do um, for our youth, for our community, because this is, I mean, look at this country now and look what's happening now. Can you imagine what it's going to look like 10, 20 years from now? Like, it's being set up. It's to me, it's being structured to die, like for our numbers to just go to waste. Like, I know I have a good friend who was invited into a meeting to invest in prisons in Alabama. They want to build more prisons in Alabama, to invest in the private prisons. This is how they do that. So I am going to pin Attorney Bumpus YouTube. I am gonna pin Lil Woody's YouTube channel. And there's another lady that I can't think about that has really good coverage about the YSL trial. So you can kind of get caught up if you're interested. But at a minimum, I wanted to bring this to our attention, because if this is happening in Georgia, you can imagine this isn't the only county that this is happening in. And these are some of the topics that I want to talk about on Bama Girl 2.0, and kind of really get to interceding with some prayer and some teaching and it's just a lot that I want to do, that this isn't the space to do it. So I am going to play the Instagram live that I caught from him. And again, I try to go in whenever I see him pop up, just to kind of just be there as support, because it is helping him. Court is paused, and a lot of people are on his heads, and he just knows that they're coming back. Like, he just knows, because they don't want him to get out. So let me get this pulled up. It's a lot of cursing. It's a lot of swearing. I'm gonna play it to the end, just for us to kind of get to know him as a person, because that's why he's going live. Um, And if you get into some of the other pieces that give you more of his background and him as a person, this is just one of many. And I just felt like it was important. So before I go, I appreciate everyone hanging out and being here on this live, and your support. And I'm glad I showed up, because I get so nervous, I guess, because it's live, and there's no editing and all of that. So you guys are really helping me in showing up in this space. And we're just going to continue to grow and keep rocking with it. So here is Lil Woody on one of his lives, and I'm just going to let it play. You guys tell me if you can hear this. He'll start talking in a moment.
Ask anybody on here. Ask live, do I smoke or drink? They'll tell you. I'm not a person that can be influenced by others. I'm not a person that can be told.
Can y'all hear? I'm going to jump in the chat, but I want to make sure y'all can hear his line. Okay, good. So I'm gonna let it play and I'm gonna jump in the chat.
Listen, if I go any place right now, where would I go? If I could go any place right now, where would I go? Damn, this is an interesting question. If I could go any place right now, where would I go? It gotta be a trick question. I don't know.
I'm gonna show y'all little Woody. This is him. This is the thumbnail that I had.
Oh, July was alright. Trying to help me enjoy myself. They made me start thinking about trip for a little minute. But as soon as I left, I started back thinking about it. I know you ain't tell me go no damn Memphis. Shit, me. You lying to me? Y'all leave my bald head alone for real, bro. It's not by choice. Y'all see them veins right there? I be having serious headache, like sharp pain be going through my shit. Like, this shit hurt my eyes. So they leave my bald head alone. I ain't. No, I don't eat pork no more. I stopped eating pork yesterday. Yesterday, my last day eating pork.
Stopped eating pork yesterday.
You believe I ain't got it on me, you motherfucking fool. Well, you motherfucker lying to me. Man, you lying to me.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to the one.
It is my face.
He got a bunch of them. I don't know if I'm putting the right one. I may have to edit this and put them in
So
a
that shit
video.
tell you I'm in the ghetto. Like, niggas still popping fireworks. All we can do is pray. Pray, pray, pray. What's up? Who that is? Who? Chris? Who? Three one. Oh, what's up, nigga? See you right by the first time. You ain't see me. Yeah, what you got going on? Yeah, I'm just right here on live, just on some bullshit. Yeah, what you gonna do? I can't. Yeah. Oh, damn, I'm figuring out. I got him alive.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go back in a minute in this piece. It was a part where he was talking about like his mom and some of the stuff that they did to him. That's what I'm trying to get to, because he be rambling on these lives some. So what I may have to do is kind of record it and then do a playback for us.
This car right here.
He talk about his anger, but I think when I came in on a
What's that?
piece that I may have already listened to, getting ready for it. So let me see.
This shit hurt my eyes. So it leave my bald head alone.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, entertain these female man. I know how to speech works, man. Nigga think, man, I don't think with my dick, like, so, I mean, I ain't, no, I don't eat pork no more.
Okay, we got to that.
What the fuck is that? Where you in? I'm in the what? I can't hear you. I'm just saying, because people they be trying to troll me, like, they don't be knowing I be out here, and who I'm with? Oh, okay, I love you, man. Be easy. Hey, Tim, put me on me phone. 404. Oh, 30. Hey, the girl couldn't do nothing with the girl. Man, the girl, they were watching my ass, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm putting it out. I'm alive. They were watching that motherfucker, right? Yeah. Put your end on, text me. I love you, nigga. Be safe. This car right here.
Me too, Jay. When he said he didn't eat pork, he's so funny.
Yeah, vacation. I don't know where vacation. What the word is, y'all? MODERATOR to your live video. What is that?
He asking. Somebody said he needed a moderator. He don't know what the word is, so he's spelling it.
Yeah, that's how you spell it, whatever it is. What is that? Y'all gotta tell me what they mean. Somebody put their number on here. Oh wow.
Yeah, I think I pulled up the wrong live, child.
And what I was telling y'all before he pulled up though, hey, whoever put this word right here, don't ever use it. It starts with an I-N and end with an L-Y. It's a long word. Don't ever use that word again, because that word don't sound like a good word to use. Whatever your name is, let me pop it without an underscore at the end. Don't use that word no more. That ain't a good word. Yeah, I was locked up with this young nigga right here. Do height, man. Just be like, you size me up, asking me how tall am I? Tall enough to drive a car, I guess. I said I could read a little bit. See, y'all don't listen. Like, comprehend. Like, I don't understand. Like, I get on. Like when I be on Instagram, right? Even if I was in a relationship, or if I wasn't in a relationship, I don't be on men pages. Like I don't watch no. I mean, unless somebody be like, bitch, unless it's my nigga, like my homie or something, I go on his page, whatever. But I don't go on nigga pages. Like I don't watch no nigga. Like I don't watch no nigga unless it's my partner. I don't be understanding why so many niggas be out here. Like, bro, you want to be if you see, that's what you call a fan. Like, you want to be a fan, bro, you go be a fan. Like, go be a fan to somebody I already, like, they go join their club that they heart drop when they see me. Like, man, that's too much. That's too much writing. I can't understand it. It's too much writing. You got to break that down for me. So I want to put it in a short text message phrase. Until I'm dead, these motherfuckers that put some balloons on my shit. No, I ain't sure. They laugh like shit funny. So y'all didn't just see no balloons. Someone sent it. Oh, man, y'all better stop playing with me, man. Y'all got me thinking I'm over here about to lose my mind for real, man. I don't know what the fuck. Somebody scream. You so don't be sending no balloons over here. Shut up, peace sign. The fuck? I'm about to grow my hair back, bro. Now, all this shit right here might be missing, but Y'all ain't gonna keep to my bald head. Straight up. Y'all see my pinky. I broke that motherfucker. I ain't even go to the hospital. I can't even make a fist. Still be knocking niggas out. Like, man. In a wheelchair, ill. Damn right, I'm scared, you fool. Only one dying is the one who think it's lame to be scared. Be playing, like y'all don't be like, come on, man, life is serious, bro. Like for real, like while I'm sitting right, nigga just walk behind me, like hey, that's the only way I be lacking. Nigga just walk behind me. But people who act like they got problem with me, I don't care. I just long goddamn them blue cards on right. Tell me, I hear siren. But I feel right now, I ain't really be giving a fuck. Like I'm just tired. Oh, fuck. Whoever wants to smoke me versus niggas. I see that. It's me versus the police. Me versus whoever wants to smoke me versus niggas I've been doing stuff to, me versus niggas who don't like me because they just feel like they don't like me, and me versus me because sometimes I be fighting with this shoulder, and they be like, he be over here like, you know, just went out bad. He be over here like, man, I'm listening to that fuck nigga, and he be like, who you calling the fuck nigga? He be like, him nigga, go do something about it. Next thing you know, there you go, man. I got no respect. So don't matter what a nigga do in the street. His family don't have anything to do with it. So you got rappers out here getting killed. And you got other rappers out here dishing. I don't get in it. Like, you know what I mean? It is what it. I've been disrespectful like that before, too. Like, I know, you know what I mean? Like, when I be like 70 or 80, I don't want to live that long. Like, you know what I mean? That shit be miserable. Living here, man, that shit, sometimes shit get real, like, miserable. Like, man. But it's like, man, nigga be trolling. Oh, this and that, it rained. And I'm just sitting in the rain because I used to sit in the window and just cry tears and just look out there like, damn, these people really just trying to do that to me. Like, y'all can't talk me, but I stood up against the most powerful people in the United States. They call the United States of America versus me. So y'all niggas can't talk to me. When they say Kenneth Copeland versus United States of America versus y'all niggas ain't seen that nothing like that. Don't be on here talking. Don't be talking. Niggas, you know what I mean? Like seriously, like you know what I mean? Don't be talking, nigga. Me versus the United States of America. And I'm supposed to be a fucking citizen. I know you fucking lying to me. You know what I mean? But God really love us. Like when he know your heart pure and he know that, you know what I mean? And he know that what you go through in life, he gonna bring out of that dark tunnel. Like, and I don't care. Like, I don't care what I go through. Don't matter what I be friends. Like, I ask for forgiveness. Like, I don't pretend to be innocent. Like, I have my moments because of what this life have put on me. Yeah, and I try my best to walk a straight path. like I'm only venting because I'm like I want to hurt somebody in real life, but I rather vent and talk about it and get it off my mind to y'all because I don't want to do that no more. Like I don't want to live like that. You know what I mean? Seriously, like sometimes I be like, man, look, man, nigga want to just go and do something to me. Like, we get this shit going. Like, I don't even really want to fight, yeah, bro. Just come on and do it. Like at that point, cause nigga be like, bro, man, you got the same thing. You feel what I'm saying? Like, if I told on anybody, they where they at. They where they at. You know what I mean? There's a problem between me and whoever I feel like I told. But the truth of the matter is, telling is telling the truth. You know what I mean? Like lying is lying. So when y'all be talking, y'all gotta learn the difference. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't be caring about what nobody's saying. Like this is for the people who care about me, who I'm speaking to. I ain't standing you other little bit of kids who probably be the main one speaking, want to ask for a picture. Like truth for the matter is, boy, God know how strong I'm trying to be right now. All that playing, boy. Now, I mean, I love your family, boy. You know what I mean? Boy, nigga, I'm fucked up, nigga. Straight up, bro. I admit it. I admit it. I ain't ashamed. I ain't afraid, bro. I done been through the storm. I done went through them battles, nigga. I done fought them, nigga. I done dealt with them demons by myself. Y'all nobody went around for me to call on them, nigga. Nigga. It is what it is at that point. Y'all need to be on here playing, be talking, bro. Y'all be on here worshiping the wrong shit. Nah, I mean, for real, y'all want negativity. Y'all feeling off this shit. Y'all feeding off this shit, nigga, man. You don't feed off negativity, nigga. Negativity attract negativity. Straight up. That shit be crazy, boy. Y'all be out here playing like some of you got this and then and third, whatever. Yeah, you got
Okay, so he didn't went back in the house. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna upload all of his lives on to Bama Girl 2.0. I'm gonna pin that YouTube channel in the description. If I'm gonna work on this the rest of the evening and get it kind of all streamlined, and I'm gonna record his lives up into YouTube and kind of edit them where we don't get all the background and stuff, and we just kind of get what he has to say to us. Um, I think that's the best way because I really want him to be heard. And I'm gonna start getting emotional. Yeah, I connect to spirits real easy. That's why I kind of protect myself, kind of keep a certain layer as I kind of get through this and get myself stronger. Uh, because pain is real and pain can just as strong as love is, so is pain. And what I'm learning just with his situation, there has been so much pain in this young man's life. And he takes accountability for it. And there's so much trauma if you listen to him. He gets to rambling and jumping around. And, it's just some real trauma there. And it's unfortunate that so many children are out here living in their pain and just from what their environments have dealt to them. You heard him say he's just kind of living with what's been dealt to them, and they really are just living to die. Like when he gets to talking about how they just gonna beat up on him and whatever, like it's almost as if he feels like he deserves that. And it's so many different it's so many different nuggets that can come from listening to Woody. But what I really want is for as many people to know about him and to know about what happened in Georgia so that they can be aware of what may be happening in their own state. Um, because I feel like we have a responsibility to our community. And that's just real talk. Um, we have a responsibility to our community. God has blessed me tremendously and has brought me through so many things. And I'm building out this channel and building out this YouTube space, not really knowing what. It's just kind of like I'm just moving. I'm just I'm just taking steps. I'm just moving. As things come to me, I'm just putting it out there. I'm just moving. But I really don't know what the purpose is. I really don't know if this is a God's given kind of lane for me. I started YouTube channel to kind of keep growing and growing my businesses. There's so many things that I'm going to add to these spaces, but these different things that are just coming to me that connect to me at a soul level, at a spirit level, I have to speak about it because I have a responsibility too. We all do. And I just wanted us to I wanted to bring his voice and some life to the trauma and the pain. And, you know, I love our people. I love our people, good, bad, indifferent, all the things that go on with us as a people. I truly, truly love our people. And I think that if we open up certain spaces and we really get to talking and really get to communicating, and just as ugly and sad and awful as it may be, if we open up those spaces and really get some dialogue coming, like, you can change a person's entire lineage by just touching one person in that family. I just want us to do better, myself included. Myself included. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not, it's just kind of just bringing some things to light. So I'm going to listen to his vibes and put them all in one space. I'll probably add them as a connection into this live that we have, so it can be, so the time spent can really, really, we can really get the fruit that I intend. This is probably why the live that I did before didn't quite go didn't quite go as well. But it's important because for a young man to have made amends with himself and did his time and be drugged back into this space, fighting, kicking, and screaming, and for his rights to be violated and be stripped down to absolutely nothing and thrown in jail, and even the Fifth Amendment right that's supposed to be afforded to all of us because they wanted his testimony. They threw this kid in jail. And I call him a kid, but he's got children. I don't know how old he is. He's still in his 20s, though. To me, they're still babies. But for a judge to oversee, the lead judge to oversee this happening and even take him from one county to another when nobody can find him, where his attorney is not present, and manipulate that entire system and go as far as to bring him into the judge's chambers in chains because they want what they want, regardless of what it will do to his life. I'm not going to even lie to y'all. It broke my heart, man. It broke my heart. Like, it hit me like a ton of bricks because I was able to see so many young people that look like us in that space, and the audacity and the just, I mean, I was floored. 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 It's more people coming into this live. I can try to pull up another thing and just let this play. But what I really think would be beneficial for us all, for us to really get the meat that I want and I intended, as rounding out this live today, is for me to just upload it all, and so that we can all listen and give our commentary and share his channel, share his Instagram, share all of those things. So I will put it in the description. I'm gonna get this information up, um, because I'm struggling with just kind of keeping going and playing it, but I feel like it's some empty space that just would be more beneficial if I kind of edit it and put it all, like, streamline it. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I hope this was a good live. Again, I'm all over the place, but I'm glad I kind of came on in and got with it. I'm getting comfortable, and prayerfully I will get more comfortable, so it will meet the expectations of all. So I thank you guys so much. Um and I will get this information up and all the information that we can get to support him. I will say this, y'all. His phone had gotten cut off he gets disability. I'm going to end it with this just to kind of give some heart to this young man. He's on disability, I'm assuming because of his mental stuff, because he was in special ed and all of these things. And so he had taken his thank you, Jay. He had gotten his social security check and he was just giving out money. Just giving out money. Didn't even have the money to pay his cell phone bill. And what he says is God got him. He is also dealing with kind of just making amends and atonement for some of his things, some of the things that he's committed. And so on his live last night, they posted a cash app for him, and people donated. He got $900 last night, and what he said he was going to do with that money is go and put a smile on his friend's face who got killed, like the weekend that he was in jail that weekend. One of his friends got murdered that weekend. There's so much going on around this entire thing with all the retaliation and stuff, but that's what he said he was going to do with this money. And this soul just kind of reminds me of like DMX, how his soul was so tortured, but he was so good at heart and he had a good connection to God. And, I just want to see this young man live and do my part. And so, and just helping him live. And I would love to see his life rehabilitated. So I'm going to keep him in my prayers. I will be praying on my other channel and kind of leading some prayers because he says where two or more are gathered in his name. That channel will be a fun space still. It will be just as fun as I'm having here, but we're just going to be able to get into some more, just some more things that I think will be beneficial to us all. And hopefully we'll grow and do what we need to do. I'm just moving in the spirit in these times right now and just trying to do what I can. So I appreciate you guys so, so much. And I'll be back soon. Thank you. Bye bye.